I think it's a wonderful idea. I mean, why not? They've made great production choices so far, so it could only be a good thing.
I imagine you're looking at the same kind of thing that happened with something like Star Trek, aren't you? You know, you go from the small screen to the big screen with relative ease, I would have thought.
I think that makes sense. I think you can only carry on this for a while in series and then eventually, when you start to wrap things up, you need to make it really epic and huge. And I think a movie would be a perfect place for that.
I think it's a great idea, and you know, not only for the reasons that George said. I think a lot of what he was talking about was budgetary. He was saying, you know, that from where he wants the story to go, you know, the TV budget's not really going to cut it, and you've got to do a story like that justice, I think. And so the kind of budget that a movie would allow, you know, a movie or three would be great.
That's a really difficult thing, because it's like every episode is a movie in itself. So I don't know what more they could do by specifically making a movie. It would be a really interesting concept to think about.
I think it's very fitting for such a big project to end on the silver screen, if that's what was to happen.
Depends how the final few books are written. There's all sorts of rumours and stuff, but I imagine it's going to stay with TV, but who knows?
I don't think you're going to get as much attention to detail, which is what a lot of Game of Thrones is about. If you're in a movie, there's just simply not enough time. And I'm speaking for myself when I go into movies. I don't like movies being too long. If I see a 3.5 hour movie, I come out more sort of fed up that that's how much I spent in there. I'd like it to be sort of fairly concise, and so you don't want to lose that with Thrones. You want to keep it to as long-winded as possible, so you can enjoy all those moments.
The serialisation and the sort of, you know, length of time it takes to tell each season allows you to develop a narrative in a way that you could never do with a film. So I think if they did the films, it would probably have to work a little bit like the Star Wars films or something, where the films themselves are like chapters in a way. So I don't imagine you could do a lot with one film, you know, or you'd have to be a very specific sort of little moment.
I would love to see a Game of Thrones film, but I think it would have to be almost like the end of the series. It would be like you would encapsulate it in one film.
The movie should be about Qyburn the movie, and then Qyburn 2. Return of Qyburn. Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
You know, there's so much of the books that, you know, is mentioned but doesn't get the same depth that George gives in print. So, yeah, anything like that would be fabulous. I think it would suit. I think it would suit big scale single productions very, very well.
I feel like you haven't finished with the TV series yet, and also the beauty of television, which we're all learning now, is that you really can give space and you can build on characters, you can make them contradict themselves. Bring it on, TV.
It's just going to be like a super big episode, isn't it? They're structured very carefully, and it's a major bit of storytelling. A movie, I love it. You know, bring it on. I can't wait. I just can't wait.
Well, I've no doubt they'll make a very good job of it, but this serial form is wonderful. I mean, how many hours of it have we had so far? We're just about to start shooting Series 5 in June, and I see no reason why it shouldn't go to 6 and 7. You've got that great spread of the whole story. I mean, they'll make a good film of it. They make a film of it. It can't be longer than 2 hours, and well, 2.5 hours maybe.
They could obviously spend a lot more money, and then who knows, more dragons. That's more dragons. I'm all up for the movie because it means more dragons. Yes.
And if we're looking at a war between fire and ice, the best place to do it is on the big screen, possibly in 3D. I just saw Godzilla, which was like the fight between fire and ice in a way. It was just massive, huge. So, you know, if you're doing something big like that, you want to see it on a big screen. So I think it's a good place to go.
I think it'd be a great way to round off a pretty amazing story.